like to thank you for the privilege of praying for you guys. I appreciate that.
Excuse me, can you push the mic on? Turn the mic on.
Is it on? Yeah. Thank you for the privilege of praying for you. The Bible tells me to, it says, first of all, I exhort that prayers and giving of thanks be made for all men, for all kings, for all who are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and reverence, for this is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior. The word peaceable there comes from the Jewish word or Hebrew word shalom, which means well-being, wholeness, health, and prosperity. So, Father, I thank you right now for the privilege of praying for our county council, that the decisions they make today will lead the people of the county of Hawaii to a place of wholeness and well-being, of prosperity and health, Lord God. I pray also for the council members, their staff, for their families, Lord. These people are giving service to the people of County of Hawaii, and I'm sure that they could be doing lots of other great things. So, Father, I pray for a blessing on each council member, each staff person, Lord God, that you would protect them and care for their families, Lord God, as they are caring for the family of the County of Hawaii. Thank you, Lord, for wisdom and knowledge and understanding for each council member today. I bless them in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Ford. Mr. Ligon. Present. Mr. Camilo. Here. Mr. Kern. Here. Mr. Onishi. Present. Ms. Poindexter.
Here.
Ms. Willie. Mr. Yoshimoto. Here. Chair Yuff.
Here.
Chair Yuff, all 9 members are present.
Thank you. And just for everyone's information, we do have a memo from Councilmember Onishi that he'll be attending today's meeting from the Hilo Council Chambers. He's just returned from a trip to the mainland and felt it was better to stay in Hilo rather than drive to Kona.
Yeah, Councilmember Onishi, I really wish that you were here, and I feel like it's important and make an effort. I know Chair Yoshimoto offered to drive. I really like it when you're sitting right here next to me and not looking at you far away. So
she misses
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cody. Mr. Kenoi, could you lead us in the pledge?
Lord.
At this time, we will be taking statements from the public on agenda items.
Okay.
I'll check the outer sites to see how many testifiers we have, and then we'll start here in Kona. And
Excuse me, goodness.
my first 2 testifiers here in Kona can come up to the table and be ready. Is Deanna Oliver and Will Bugby. And let me check with Sean in Kohala. How many testifiers do you have, Sean?
Hello, Madam Chair. We have 7 testifiers here in Kohala today.
Okay, thank you. And Donnie and Wainea, how many do you have?
Good morning, Madam Chair. I believe we have 3. One is in the process of finishing her form. Thank you.
Okay. And Mike in Kohala, how many do you have?
Good morning. We have 13 testifiers at this time.
13 testifiers. And Ka'u?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Yes, this is Sandy. We have 2 testifiers here this morning.
Okay, thank you. And in Hilo? Stephanie?
Morning, Madam Chair. We have 10 testifiers so far.
Okay, thank you. So I'll take my first two testifiers in Hilo, and then I'll go to Kohala after that. So you can begin and state, in Kona.
Okay.
And state your name, turn your microphone on so that the green light is shining, and then state your name, and you have 3 minutes. I believe you'll hear a sound that, is it after 2 minutes or after 2.5 minutes, Mr. Clerk? Okay, you'll be notified when you have 30 seconds left, so at that time, if you would please summarize. Okay, thank you.
Morning, Madam Chair. Our first testifier is Corey Hyland, and she also has a camera job.
Stephanie, I'm sorry. I was going to go to Kona first. I just made a mistake.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead.
My name is Deanna Olivier, and I'm here to support. I'm Deanna Olivier, and I'm here to support Bill 25. About 5 years ago, I bought a small farm in Waimea, just off the highway, with the intention of starting a small farm business, which would include an open farm, an eco-tourism, which would show like the cycle of a farm. And I I had like all my plans ready for my business, but instead I've been spending the last 2 years over at the Hilo permit office trying to figure out all the regulations, and the cost is too costly for me to actually start my business. I'm also a member of the Cherry Blossom Committee, and annually I have the town come visit my farm. I serve cherry tea, and they get to come and walk through my trails, and it's a once a year thing. I've also read an article written by the Hawaii Tourism Bureau, and they stated how the tourists are really looking for something more substantial when they come visit, and I really believe that people would love to come visit the small farms, and a lot of the farmers that want to start these kind of businesses would really benefit if the Bill 25 is passed. And I'm also interested in inviting like the schools in my town, and to have just more of an educational based, ecological center at my farm too. And I'm here to support 25, and I hope it gets passed, and I hope us small farmers can start our little businesses. And I'm not out to make $1 million. I'm just trying to find some income to help support my farm. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Buckley?
Yes, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present here this morning. I want to direct my remarks specifically in support of Martin Willie's Resolution 452-14, specifically focused on the RFP section that deals with incineration and gasification technologies as a possible solution for managing and disposing and reducing our waste here on the Big Island. The current thermodynamic trajectory of the RFP has produced 3 finalists, and I think it's important for the council to recognize, even though you do not have their proposals before you at this time, that the 3 finalists do specialize in incineration and gasification technologies as a way of disposing of municipal solid waste. If we look at the end product of incineration, it is basically toxic ash and air pollution. And a byproduct of that, of course, is significant reduction of the solid waste. That's why you incinerate. We have a unique problem here on the Big Island when it comes to air quality. We all know it's fog. And the fog, according to the American Lung Association, has placed Hawaii and the Big Island specifically for the 3rd year in a row in their state of the air, is receiving a grade of F. We have failed once again. But of course, that grade of F talks to ozone and particulate pollution levels as being unhealthy air that we all breathe. Now, we can't control Kilauea, but we certainly can address how we dispose of our trash and whether we incinerate it and put toxic air pollutants into the atmosphere to add to an already natural toxic mix known as fog. The Union of Concerned Scientists looks at waste to energy, which is another component of the RFP, which is to burn and then produce energy as basically, to use their term, burning raw municipal waste. It does not qualify as a sustainable form of energy production. And sustainability is a key element of the RFP. Waste energy plants emit high levels of air pollution. This is the Union of Concerned Scientists report, including toxic metals, chlorinated compounds, and plastics.
30 seconds.
I think it's important to note that no new incineration plants have been built since 1995, according to the EPA. I presented you written testimony, and I encourage you strongly to read it. There are many man-hours worth of research put into that, and I've tried to provide as much education on the subject matter as possible so you can make this an intelligent decision for the good of the public. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
So you didn't video me.
Sean, are you ready to take two testifiers?
Hello, Madam Chair. Yes, we are.
Go
I
ahead.
saw it happening though, that's funny.
Okay, first up we have Mr. Albert Higma, testifying in support of Resolution 452-14. And second up, we have Ms. Andrea Dean, testifying in support of Bill 25.
There are other options besides incineration. For instance, an invention has been made to reduce plastic bottles, 4 kinds of plastic, to oil. This invention was created in Japan. It works on a family level, a street level, and a regional level. There are large machines available. It takes 1 kilo of plastic. You can make a liter of oil. From that oil, you can make kerosene, gasoline, diesel. This is a relevant system for plastic. The traditional system of cubing metal is still good. We have great winds in Hawaii, and why not use them for windbreaks? Make them decorative, be creative. Then what do we have left? We have green waste. The green waste is much in need, and in fact, why put a great cost to incineration when already in North Kohala, on the county land, we have green waste systems, conscientiously set up, totally legal set up, and it's operating. And the farmers need this. It's not for organic gardens. They can use it for citrus or windbreaks and other means. I do recommend that these other options be looked at rather than just 3 incinerator options. And therefore, I support this bill. In Japan, there's been over 1,925,000 views of the invention that has been made there. It's being used already in test trials in third world countries. So the point is, we're almost like a third world country. We're an island. We don't need massively millions of dollars of incinerators. We can take care of this on a local level. If we don't create enough garbage on our island, there will probably be a fee or a penalty, and the price will still be paid by the taxpayer. This is why the incinerator, the massive ones, are not eligible for this island. Thank you.
Good morning, council members. This is Andrea Dean, and I am representing the North Kohala Eat Locally Grown campaign. And as you all know, because the county council has generously supported the North Kohala Eat Locally Grown campaign over many years, we are working to grow a local food system here in North Kohala. And part of our plan, in our strategic plan, was to support and promote agricultural tourism as a way for our small farmers here in Kohala to increase their income and to provide another way for small farmers to make ends meet. So we subsequently started an agricultural tourism initiative just this year with support from the county, from R&D through the county product management program, and a private donor as well. So we launched our Ag Tourism Initiative this year, and we just developed the website, which is Farm Tours North Kohala, and we have 8 different farm tours now, farm tours and culinary events, and we'll be launching in September. But we have been quite stressed, honestly, about the way that the law was written. So we're very excited about the changes to the ag tourism bill. And we are in support of these changes because all of the people involved in our ag tourism initiative all fall into the category of minor agricultural producers with less than 100 a week. So this would really be hugely beneficial. It would open up the ability for small farms here in Kohala to be able to welcome and capture part of this market that visits Kohala. We have about 150,000 visitors per year that come to Kohala, and right now there is no agricultural tourism activity at all. So this is the first time the community has come together to offer this, and this bill would make that possible. So I'm in full support. I think it's very visionary. I think it still keeps the rules in place that need to be there for large agricultural operations, but yet it opens the door for smaller producers to create an additional income stream. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Donnie, anyone there? Can you bring up your first 2 testifiers?
All right, I'd like to introduce Anna, who is in support of withdrawing 452-14, and Terry Markovich, who's also in support of withdrawing Resolution 45214. Terry. Aloha, and mahalo for this opportunity to speak before the Honorable Council. I'm asking for reconsideration of this withdrawal proposal for this RFP to encourage more input. The last time we went through this incineration process, the estimate for building such a process was over $100 million. And as far as I can tell, we have yet to actually upgrade each of our transfer stations to divert and collect and properly process green waste, which is actually for our Big Island is quite a good portion of our solid waste. And we have a lot of technologies that could provide for a beneficial product for green waste. And we have many companies that would love to be able to get an RFP for that. And so I would like to encourage you to put this to test and withdraw this RFP and make it open to more businesses and more technologies that are more sustainable. I was on the radio, and the Mayor of Kauai was bragging about his their great investment in solar energy, and that's a very small island, and I was sad that we couldn't actually brag as well that we had a good solar project here either. So anyway, those are other alternatives for energy that definitely we haven't tapped into yet, and that $100 million plus dollars that would go into an incinerator would go very far to improve our collection and diversion, recycling collection and diversion, and I might add our reuse and salvage operations are becoming very successful, and so I would encourage you to look at alternatives, and mahalo to Margaret Willie for this resolution, and I would ask you to all buy into it as well. We're on an island, and it's really important. Malama Honua. Mahalo. Good morning, council members. My name is Anna Peach, and I'm a farmer here in Waimea. I came here today to testify in the midst of my green waste collection. I wanted to give you an idea of what a normal day is like for me. 1 year ago, I launched a small farm here in Waimea out in Lalomila farm lots. And the first thing I discovered is the soil was greatly depleted. It was much like a dust bowl. It just blew past you. So in order to build a farm, you need to start with your soil. My father, who was a farmer, always said, you're only as good as your soil. So in order to do that, I started looking for green waste that was available. Since I live in Waimea, I don't have compost readily available to me unless I purchase it in bags at a hardware store. And to me, it's such a high cost and it's unnecessary because we have so much green waste around us. So what I started as a small composting initiative as one person, and I worked with area restaurants and businesses and reclaimed everything from their vegetable scrap that was being used thoroughly in the kitchen, their cardboard coffee grounds, from the brewery I got hops, and also from the fishermen, fish waste. Those things have built, just as one person, within 6 months I had 3 tons of that material on my property to build soil. And I now have some of the richest soil out in Lalomila farm lots. I'm not the only one doing it. The pig farmers also collect tons of this material to feed their livestock. We cross through towns with each other in the backs of these restaurants. This is something we're doing to keep our costs down. It allows us smaller farms to survive because we're doing it ourselves. So it's not just about ourselves. It seems like kind of a thankless job picking up buckets of waste. I've been doing this for 9 months, 6 to 7 days a week. But I have the richest soil out there in Lalomila farm lots. That's something I'm very proud of. I also use the least amount of water. I only have to water for an hour or 2 a week. So there's a lot of benefits here for farmers. We're trying to build small farmers here on the island. This is one way to help us. I would love if you looked into other alternatives, something that would help us build this depleted soil so that we can keep our costs down. Thank you for your time.
There's a lot happening in the office. Oh, yeah, sure. I never understood. Kathy got a new bottle of white out today. And everybody's like,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
are you going to use that for?
Our first testifier is Mr. Johnson, representing himself, and is speaking in support of 2 resolutions.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You could write a rather
Members of the council. I'll start with resolution 452, related to the solid waste issue. I think there's a lot of pieces of this that are missing. We can just move very rapidly through this process.
Oh, God, John, what's wrong with you?
I call it the solid waste issue here, maybe for several seconds. And they're projecting what the solid waste is going to be like going forward. Adequate.
Can you hear me? A little bit, but it's so frozen right now. I'm not even sure it's working. Applicants might. I didn't shut it down before I drove down the hill. I think that's the problem. I had the movie maker running, and I wanted to finish. But now I can't even mouse.
We'll take a fast reset.
Yeah, let's take a recess. It's a good idea. I like recess.
Yes, I want to go on swings.
I do too. Race you to the teeter-totter. Remember teeter-totters? They don't have those anymore. They're dangerous.
Everything is dangerous.
They are.
Mike, can you talk to us just to get a test?
Big circle. What are those called? Merry-go-rounds.
Yes, sir.
But you could
Testing
really,
1,
you had
2,
to hang
3,
on and
4,
they'd
5.
spin around and I mean there were no safety seats.
Nothing.
We had swings with chains and
just
boards.
talk at
So,
normal
I mean, they
volume
weren't
levels,
safe either.
and
Yeah,
Okay,
nothing.
hopefully come through better. We're gonna restart the testifier in a
Parks
second.
used to be good. Now they're all for babies. If you look at the playground,
It might be a reception issue with
once
the
you're
internet
4 or
connection.
5,
We're not sure.
there's no.
We'll just try again.
My
Stand
youngest
by.
kids are 9.
Okay.
There's nowhere to go. They don't care about that stuff anymore. It's all little tiny slides that go 5 feet. This area needs the skate park.
Go ahead and call the meeting back to order, and so we can please start again, and we'll start the time again.
Oh, we should interview Bill.
The first testifier then is Mr. John Olson, representing himself, speaking in support of 2 resolutions.
We can shoot these with paintball guns.
Thank you again, Madam Chair, members of the council. I won't drag you through the whole thing again. I think the point is that we're moving too quickly on this. The assessment of what the need is going to be going forward is not adequate to describe. I'll let that go at that. We'll move on to 5-4.
I think at this rate, I'm just going to have to use Nelson Howell,
which is
whoever
the design,
emailed me
the resolution for the creation of design for the Pahoa Regional Town Center. And I thank you for getting it this far, and I hope we will complete this so that we can get on with the development of our regional town center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next testifier is Tiffany Hunt, speaking in support of 2 resolutions representing herself.
Good morning, Tiffany Hunt, and on the first resolution, the resolution adopting design district for Pahoa. I'm speaking as the president of Main Street Pahoa Association, expressing our support and commending the planning department for working so closely with us on this. I just want to let you know this is a transition to Margaret Willie's resolution. I want to let you know that currently we do not have any trash cans in Pahoa due to a contracting glitch. So our zero waste plan has begun in Pahoa. Might want to look into that. As far as the incinerator, the proposed incinerator, I just want to remind everyone that we are the healing island. We see ourselves as the health and wellness mecca of the world. We are known as Condé Nast travelers, one of the best places to go visit. Why on earth would we propose risking air quality if we are concerned about our own health and wellness? Then we should consider a marketing plan. We become no different than other islands like Taiwan if we are going to start burning our rubbish. And I would suggest that we just give everybody barrels and say burn your trash in the backyard, because I'm not confident there's enough scrubber that would secure our air quality. I want to point out that Hunter Bishop has been 6 myths about the county's waste incineration plan. It's published on Big Island Now. Please read it. It recalls the 2008 mission for an incinerator and how costly an incinerator plan could be for our island. Our landfill tipping fee is at $85 a ton. We have 3 transfer stations now and happening legal dumping problem. Imagine when everybody has to start paying for their trash. I also want you to think about the innovation that comes with zero waste and social enterprise. There are people who are making biochar. There are people who are turning rubbish into commodities. We can do that here on this island. We need to embrace small business and invite this kind of innovation to this island. We want to be sustainable. Let's walk our talk. Also, please consider that incineration perpetuates the grid. So does geothermal. Both will compete with each other. There are many people who want to see other forms of renewable energy. I just urge you to look at the zero waste goals that we've laid out into the integrated solid waste management plan. And all of this is counter to that. We cannot afford a $125.5 million incinerator here. In fact, Kenoi's plan, and bless his heart, it is 30% larger than the one that Mayor Kim proposed 5 years ago. Again, we generate 150 tons of trash per day. We've already committed ourselves to 200 tons per day through the Pu'uanahulu landfill. Our contract with the Solid Waste Management, Inc., that's 150 tons of trash per day left. We will not be able to have recycling and reuse if we an incinerator like that here on this island. And I just want to thank you, and please take my testimony to heart. Aloha.
I'm going to go to Ka'u and ask Sandy to bring your 2 testifiers forward, please.
Good morning. First, we have Bob Zeller in support of Bill 25. He's representing himself.
Good morning. I'm Bob Zeller. I'm testifying in support of Bill 25 today. In an unrelated topic, I want to thank you for passing Bill number 268 yesterday. Ocean View truly needs more services, and the Lehua Court will offer us many more spaces. Ag tourism is very popular on the mainland, and I believe it will add greatly to the experience of our visitors. Tourism is big for Hawaii, and farm tours will offer an educational discovery experience alternative to the Big Island palette of adventures. I testified in 2012 in favor of this bill and thought it had gotten lost when the council tossed it back to the Planning Commission. Thank you for making it possible again. I can certainly understand the hesitation in approving major ag tourism without use permit process, since they will be handling large groups of people many times a day, all year long. They should truly be prepared with proper facilities, as this bill outlines. I am speaking for the small farmers like me. We can never afford the requirements of paved parking, ADA bathrooms, etc. Limiting us to 5,000 visitors a year for minor ag tourism definition is not a problem. I would be ecstatic to receive 1,000 visitors in a year. My wife and I run a small orchid nursery here in Ocean View. Because of our extremely expensive water, we cannot afford to expand our facilities by adding more greenhouses. Ag tourism gives us the opportunity to share our passion for orchids with other plant lovers. We are interested in offering classes to our visitors where they will walk away with an orchid plant that they have learned how to replant and how to take care of. Since we are a certified nursery, they will be able to take it home with them. Please help the small farmers on this island and pass Bill 25. I also wanted to comment about the incinerator. I'm not in favor of it. I would rather see gasification that can give us something worthwhile. Thank you.
Next, we have Richard Abbott in support of Resolution 25, candidate for County Council. And Bill 452-14 in support.
You know.
Aloha and good morning. After attending coffees this morning here in Ocean View and discussing yesterday's proposal on the Lehua Court, which is very popular here, we had very, very many community members also showing support for Bill 25 and commend you for moving it forward out of the Planning Commission process. And we also have a considerable amount of support, including my own, for Ms. Willie's Resolution 452-14, urging the administration to withdraw the RFP on the waste energy incinerator proposals. And we would very, very much like this to move forward at this juncture before it gets any farther along. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stephanie, back to you. Can you please bring your first 2 testifiers up?
Our first testifier is Corey Harden, and she is a picture that she'll be showing at the same time. And she has two items. She'll be speaking in support of Resolution 452 and also Bill 25.
Thank you.
First, I'll be speaking for Sierra Club, opposing Bill 25, Draft 2. We thank you for continuing to work on this issue. We do support tourism that supports agriculture, but we want something that's focused on agriculture, not on commercial activities. And we're disappointed that measures we suggested repeatedly don't appear in current amendments. And I sent you specific suggestions, hope you got them, and I will kind of summarize them here. They're the same suggestions we've been making all along. One is that facilities not exceed 1,000 square feet. We are really concerned about the automatic approval. If there's no decision by planning on an application within 30 days, it should be automatic denial, not automatic approval. It should be a site inspection before plan approval. I'm glad to see no ag tourism in Whitehill Valley. Perhaps other sensitive areas should be added. We do want to see adequate road and site access for fire, ambulance, and police. I'd like to see more noise regulations to protect the neighbors. We'd like to see a road assessment so that all the vehicles putting wear and tear on the roads, there's some compensation for the owners of the private roads. There should be appropriate sewage disposal. If someone wants to do ag tourism, neighbors should know in writing ahead of time. There should be appropriate signs so people aren't driving all over the neighborhood, ending up in the wrong place constantly. Ag tourism only 5 days a week to give neighbors some relief. Dust control plans. Animals should be confined in a safe, humane, and adequate way. Facilities should fit into the neighborhood, not be really incompatible. And the planning director should be able to get tax records to determine compliance. We'd like to see the ag tourism operators be the owner, operator, or occupant of the farm to keep local control, have good insurance. We'd like to see limits on property size and how many operations in one neighborhood. Penalties for violations should be specified. And we'd like to see permit fees and fines sufficient to fund enforcement. So again, we'd like to have ag tourism support agriculture, not impact our neighbors. Resolution 452, correction, I'm speaking for myself. RF2 452 is regarding withdrawing the waste to energy request for proposals. And I would like to see it rewritten so it's open to proposals that maximize the output of things that make chemical composting. The picture is of a garbage truck in San Francisco, and on the side of their truck they have huge 3D pictures of garbage. Ecology, or trash and recycling suite says every other garbage company on the planet tried to hide this. We put photos on the side of our trucks. It's as though you can see inside the truck. It's an effort to get people to look at their garbage. They see that garbage is not garbage at all. It's a mix of resources that should be recycled and composted. San Francisco's approach can help us look at alternatives to an incinerator. Granted, that's a very different place, and unfortunately, Recology has misrepresented how much recycling they're actually doing. Still, there are ideas worth looking at. In San Francisco, everyone has to sort their waste. Single and multifamily homes, restaurants, hotels, and other businesses. There's blue bins for recycling, green for composting, and black for garbage. Managers of multi-tenant residences and businesses must provide bins, plus information and training to tenants, employees, contractors, and custodians. steel bins are picked up from the curb by Recology trucks. The city aggressively advertises sorting. Ads in bus shelter, on buses. They have street booths. They have posters in public places. They pass out leaflets. And Recology and city staff go door to door to make sure everyone is informed and has what they need to recycle. There's a 25% discount on pickup for restaurants and hotels that separate organic waste, and discounts for businesses that do sorting. On the other side of it, repeated non-compliance with sorting laws may mean no one picks up their bins, if nothing's sorted in there, or there may be fines or property liens. Recology has incentives. They own the recycling and composting facilities, but the landfill is run by a competitor, so Recology doesn't want much to go into the landfill. Recology gets a bonus if it exceeds diversion targets. For old clothing, one store gets a 15% discount if customers bring in old clothes to recycle. Wearable items are resold, and the rest are used for furniture, padding, soundproofing, and other uses. Please support Resolution 452. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next testifier is Vivian Tolner in support of Resolution 452.
Good morning. My name is Vivian Tolner, and I'm here to ask you to please vote yes for Resolution 452-14. The reason is that I believe you should use every tool available to you to make decisions that affect the long-term future of this island. Don't deny yourself information and the right to choose. It gives you the opportunity to be empowered for your people, to be informed and aware of more choices on behalf of your people. I would put all my effort into knowing all that I can on such an important issue as this. I would insist that it be an open process. At no point would I release my right to know and turn it over to someone else to be responsible for. The limitations on the current RFP are too limiting. This is simply that, just a right to know and to be informed. I did some research and I found that we hear about jobs, that this new incinerator is going to be creating jobs. Well, yes, there'll be construction jobs for 3 years. After that, what kind of jobs are there in the incinerator business? Well, I found a site that said there's 10,000 incinerator jobs in the U.S. now. There are 289 operating incinerators. That appears to be 30 jobs approximately a year per incinerator. That's, every job's important, but that's not going to make a lot of difference. Also, the other jobs would be more trucking, I believe, because if it's a big incinerator, we're going to have to bring trash over from the west side. Now, we're against trash, taking trash to the west side, but it's okay for the west side to bring trash to the east side. So, is that correct? Also, are we doing enough effort now toward recycling or informing our people now? I went to our websites. On the County of Hawaii Department of Environmental Management, Solid Waste Division, and Recycling section. There's only been 4 press releases this year, and none of them have to do with recycling or increasing the programs or incentives to recycle. There's only been 3 meetings by the Environmental County Council Subcommittee this year. I really think we need to put more effort into recycling.
Thank you. Coming back here to Kona, I would like to ask Kelly Greenwell and Subhadra to please come forward.
Marie Correa.
Go ahead, Mr. Kenoi. Make sure the mic is turned on.
Good morning. My name is Kelly Greenwell, and I'm testifying on Resolution 452-14 from Councilperson Margaret Willey. I'll just read my testimony, and then I'll have maybe some time for a few words afterwards. But anyway, proper planning should require that whenever this county embarks upon a path to resolve an issue, it ought to seek a solution that, if possible, addresses other related needs in the process. Characteristically, this is seldom done. However, in the effort to handle solid waste, there is a host of other synergistic opportunities that relate, and they need to be assembled into one solution as opposed to being addressed individually. Among the issues of concern are shoreline degradation, green waste handling, air emissions, and the effort to attain a zero waste status. It should be considered that the waste to energy request for proposal currently pursued will require, at the very least, the entire island's waste stream in order to function at a level of efficiency needed to justify its cost. In fact, island-wide collection will be required to allow for an economy of scale needed to ensure the success of any waste reduction facility, and further, West Hawaii is where that facility should be located. Trucking waste east to west amounts to the same thing as the previous statement was made. Aerobic composting should be considered as an alternative to burning because it resolves several other issues and has no patent or proprietary issues or expensive equipment. It is a natural process and therefore a whole lot less costly, and a number of models for doing so exist around the world. Historically, federal funding has been dramatically more available for agriculture than for energy, and because this is an agricultural activity, there could be federal funding available. We are in fact polluting our near-shore waters, and the only way to reverse the resulting damage is to add organics to the soil we use in our coastal development. Organic base soil currently sells for upwards of $80 a cubic yard, higher than anywhere else on the planet, and into a perpetually unsatisfied market which will only increase, making what we consider waste, in fact, a valuable resource. I'll end my testimony here. Thank you very much.
Okay, next.
Good morning, aloha.
Is your mic on?
Oh.
Good morning, aloha council members. My name is Subhadra. On my little paper, I put that I oppose. What I oppose is the incinerator. I am for the bill, so if someone's got that paper and could correct it. And I oppose the incinerator because I also think it's a waste of perfectly good trash. We call things trash that are not necessarily trash, we just don't know how to use them. And I think we should take that $100 million, that's a lot of money. If there's that kind of money available, we should use it to find healthier and better ways to dispose of trash and put some of it into solar. Put some of that money into solar. And that's basically what I have to say. Thank you, Margaret, for the bill.
Thank you. Sean Makohara, 2 more testifiers, please.
Hello, Madam Chair. Next we have Tony Withington testifying in support of Resolution 452-14.
Morning. Good morning, council members. My name is Tony Withington. I'm a longtime resident of North Kahala. I want to bring an element to the discussion of this RFP that the county has just drawn up that now means that we're going to have a single incinerator in Hilo. I want to talk about the impact that that has on the people in this community and all other communities on the island who have been working in recycling and green waste distribution. This community in North Kohala has been very active in recycling. We have numerous people who have been involved in it for years and for years. We have been trying for a long time to get the environmental services to not truck away our green waste, because 50% of the load carried down to Kuwana is now just green waste. So just recently, we were able to work out the agreement with the city where we will be separating our green waste and helping out the solutions for what to do with our waste. The question is, what happens, all of those of us who have been working, and not just here in college, all of the guys who've been working for years and years on recycling, on how to handle green waste, on how to handle our own garbage in our own families and homes. What's going to happen when all of a sudden we have our taxpayer money is going to a single incinerator in Hilo, and all our trash, all work is collected in the dump? Disheartening to that all of the people who are now doing for recycling and for green waste recycling is to go be for naught. It's all just to get trucked 90 miles to Hilo and burned. Thank you very much.
Hello, Madam Chair. Next up, we have Mr. Peter Ritzkis to testify in support of Resolution 452.
Thank you. I'm Peter Ritzkis. I'm a farmer here in North Kohala, and I do not understand why we're taking our green materials and burning them up. They are carbon sources, and we need carbon sources on our soil. Instead of talking about taking the waste and send it to Hilo and turning it into greenhouse gases, I don't understand that. Not to mention the fuel that it's going to take. Fuel is just going to keep going up in price to get there. Not a good idea. We should use those materials and put those materials back in the earth, non-polluting way, which is composting systems and mulching. And all the waste stream, we could use all that material. I want to bring up the precautionary principle. Sometimes we create answers that create new problems, and that's exactly what incinerators are going to do. They're going to put greenhouse gases and other toxic gases into the air. They're going to downstream. They're going to create cancer cells and those types of autoimmune diseases. That's a serious consideration that the people of Hilo should have. And I question the unholy alliance between government and private entities that is one of the reservoirs of corruption. Why should we take the entire waste stream of Hawaii and give it to a private entity? The waste stream is a resource that the public should use for their benefit, particularly on an island. So here we're allowing public officials to control relationships with private entities. Not a good idea for Hawaii. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to go to Ka'u. Do you have any other testifiers?
I'm sorry, were you speaking to us here in Kohala, Madam Chair?
No. And
Wait a minute. Okay.
we do have one more testifier, Madam Chair. It's Paul Komara Jr. in support of Resolution 452-14.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning. As you know, my name is Paul Alexander Kamara Jr., and I reside here in the Cowley District at this time. I'm here to share my experience, strength, and hope with you concerning the waste to energy by Mayor Billy Kenoi. And this is my experience. It began in August 1989 in Spokane, Washington. I was hired as an assistant professor of technology at Eastern Washington University in Cheney, which is a suburb. Here is the civic lesson that the people of Spokane failed to heed. Opponents of the garbage incinerator were selectively denied entrance to the council chambers until the pro-incinerator demonstrators proceeded to pros, much like our meetings that we had to discuss GMOs in Hilo. You know what you saw there. The signing of that contract between Spokane and Willowbridge came only after the mayor of Spokane successfully sued the citizens of Spokane with their own taxpayers' money. The state Supreme Court of Washington ruled 5-4 that the citizens' right to vote case didn't outweigh the elected official. That was a good thing for Willowbridge, since it is widely known that we citizens vote to reject health hazards. Considering that the Spokane political, including contriving the citizens' desire to have a say in using Spokane police to assist in the PR effort of Willowbridge, is it any wonder why Spokane began to burn unknown waste from oil fields of Alberta, Canada, and operated without oversight? It appears to me to be exploitation by Willowbridge. So after 20 years, Spokane gave Willowbridge the pink slip and has taken over the plant that they bought in 1989, but they still have to deal with a very serious health hazard, and that is dioxin ash. If, as scientists believe, dioxin is gram for gram as potent a carcinogen as plutonium-239, the villain of Fukushima and all nuclear waste, and if the proposed Hilo incinerator can be viewed as a dioxin factory, you will be signing someone's death warrant. I pray that you err on the side of public health and do the next right thing. Support Margaret Willie's resolution to protect public health. If you want more information to support your decision, please call me at 808-936-5929, or just go and Google Spokane, Washington incinerator, and you will find the pros and cons of this health hazard. Aloha, Paul Kamara, Sovereign.
Was that your last testifier?
Thank you, Madam. Yes, thank you. That is our last testifier in Ka'u. Thank you.
Okay, and you can let me know if anybody else shows up. Donnie and my mayor, do you have another testifier?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. We have 3 testifiers. The next 2 would be Brian Ewan, whose subject matter is Hawaii's government, 430-14D2, and he'd like to make a comment. He represents Kalakapua, and we have Erica Kaur, whose subject matter is resolution to withdraw from incinerator proposed. She's in support of 452-14, and Ryan is first.
Hi, good morning. I would like to speak coming from Hawaii, Native Hawaiian, a government organization, Chart 1845, Constitution, Premier, Act, First Act, Section 1, Department of Interior Administration, 1845, Second Act, Chapter 1, Minister of Interior. We look forward to the water being Kanakamo'ole, land Kanakamo'ole. We hold that to Kanakamo'ole. Anybody or anything pertaining to the land of Hawaii is Kanakamo'ole. Kanakamo'ole should be first in this Kanai Olufalu, which is the nation government should be addressed in anything going on with the land and water. First of all, and the Bureau of Interior Commerce, Civil Code 1859, Section 49-166, public roads, highways, and bridges. It's Article 1. Article 2 is public marks and markets. Article 3, lighthouse, beacons, and channels. Article 4, prisons and house of corrections. And Article 5, the restraining and impounding of estuaries. That's off the subject, but everything pertaining to this land and to this water is Kanakamo'ole. We consent to the public and should be through the Kanakamo'ole. Anything other than that should be rebutted. Otherwise, addressed to Kanakamo'ole. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Erica Kerr. I'm a mother of 3 children. Also, I'm an educator and farmer and cook. I'm in support resolution 452-14 that Margaret Willie brought forth. I do not understand the point of an incineration. I see the need for money to go toward educating the people about recycling, offering more recycling, green waste. I can't imagine if our household and farm threw away in the trash all of the compost and green waste that we do. We put it back into the land. Let's educate the people how they can bring and create more soil for their garden or take it to a facility so that other people can buy, such as farmers or anybody, cheap green waste compost. So please withdraw RFP, and we issue a new request for no such thing as such as an incinerator. I feel like the citizens and the mass here in Hawaii want the best for the land and the people, and that is not incineration. It would be recycling, composting, and other means. Thank you.
Stephanie and Hilo.
Yes.
You have 2 more testifiers.
Okay. Our next testifier is Marie Correa in opposing resolution 452.
Aloha. My name is Marie Correa, and I live in Mountain View, Hawaii. I am here to testify against the proposed incinerator. To the mayor, our honorable public servants, the county council, honorable public servants are working for the people, not for special interest groups, others on the council, etc. You have heard from many people today. We, the people, do not want the proposed incinerator. We don't need the energy created by the incineration. There's already enough. Helco needs no more. We don't have enough trash to burn. That's the most interesting point. To support an incinerator, move moving trash around our islands word is a joke. An incinerator will end up costing, not saving, with tipping fees and long-term contracts. Having 2 incinerators on this island already, with a lifespan of 30 more years of service, let's not try to fix what isn't broken. Studies do not support Mayor Kenoi's vision. Department of Environmental Management, the Hauling Pilot Program, and 2 others all show that this is not in the interest of anyone, not the people of Hawaii Island especially. Let's work together for lower costs, more feasible answers, recycling, reuse what we have, and most of all, County Council, listen to the people you serve. The incinerator is an idea whose time has not yet come. Mahalo to Margaret Willie. Let's join her, County Council. Mahalo for listening.
Point of order, clarification. I think in this case, there was open that the testimony was in opposition to 452, and I just, it is a little confusing because it's in support of this bill and in opposition to the incinerator. So I just want to make clear each of the that those who are introducing state that it's in support of resolution 452. Go on. So, okay. As happened in this case.
Thank you, Ms. Hurley. I'm going to take one more testifier from Hilo, and then I'm going to take a 10-minute recess.
Okay, our next testifier.
5-minute recess.
Our next testifier is Frances Boyle. She has 2 items that she'll be speaking on, Resolution 452 and Bill 25. And can you let me know when you transition into it?
Thank you, I will. Aloha. I, Frances Boyle, support County Council Margaret Willie's resolution number 452-14, urging the administration to withdraw request for proposal number 3044. I'd like to see Mayor Kenoi put the $100 million build us a solar plant. First of all, Mayor Kenoi is rushing to build his solid waste incinerator without giving the community the opportunity to voice concerns, and fails in giving full disclosure of all pertinent facts. I urge everyone to go to thebigislandnow.com and please read the articles by Mr. Hunter Bishop. You will learn many things on why the incinerator is a failure to meet the things that we need in our community, and it's a pollutant. I firmly support zero waste of reuse, recycle, because it leaves less pollution, economically profitable, and will create thousands of long-term jobs which this community needs. The mulch and compost benefits farmers, as well as for me. I'm a small farmer, and I am going to be expanding. The mulch over the years has made my fruit trees as well as my avocados blossom and bear fruit tremendously, whereas I could not have afforded to be at this point of possibly making a business out of it. But we also need to really consider to use the mulch and compost to reforest our bare lava lands that for several centuries have remained bare. The climatic changes are happening real fast, and we need to really, really concentrate on reforesting as many of the areas that we can. We do not need to rush into building an incinerator when it's less efficient than recycling. Again, incinerators is a pollutant into the air. What is burned in the air will fall into our INA and will get into our lungs as well.
there are other things about this incinerator madness. It's really a catch-22 of a no-win. For example, we're in a contract with the Puna Honolulu where we have to maintain a certain amount of tonnage. So, but if Mayor Kim gets his way to build this incinerator, then we're going to have to take those tonnage from there to get to the Hilo. Well, then we're going to have to pay, we're defaulted at one to do the other. So it's really it's a catch-22 of a no-win-win. There's no, at this time, the county has no contract agreement to sell the energy produced by the incinerator to Hawaii Electric Land Company. Everything about the incinerator for Hilo, it's madness. It's crazy. We really need to think health-wise and start and use that $100 million and let's build some solar plants. Okay, concerning I request, and remember now I am a small farmer and I am planning to expand, and I do have concerns when bills are introduced so fast that we the people do not have the whether we're for this bill or not, we really don't have the opportunity to review it, and that's where there's some dangers here. So for example, I request the County Council Zendo propose amendments to bill number 25 draft 2 relating to agriculture tourism, which I do support, but because this bill was introduced yesterday at 3:55 p.m. did not give the public sufficient time to review. And this is where we have to be extremely careful with any bill that comes before the public, that they have the opportunity to review those drafts and those changes. Because you might be at a disillusion that, hey, this is what I support. But then when you start looking at those small prints, then you go, how could this have happened? So that's what I'm asking, that this bill, number 25, draft 2, be delayed and rescheduled, and giving the opportunity of people to truly review it and then come before with support or some changes to it. Mahalo.
Thank you. Council members, can I take 2 more in Kona? I think somebody needs to leave that wants to testify before we take a break. Okay. Thank you. I'll take 2 more testifiers in Kona, Bob Schaefer and Janice Pomegranate. Go ahead, sir. Is your light on? There's a bar.
Okay. Good morning and aloha to everyone. I'm Bob Schaefer. I'm a lifetime farmer. I'm an agronomist for a company, Soil Culture Consulting. I do consulting for farms all over the world, all over the United States, helping farms to correct problems and improve the health of their soils. In November 2013, in this building, in the mayor's office, I met with Mr. Wally Lau and Ms. Todd. As I was representing Recology of San Francisco at the time, I've been the primary consultant for composting for Recology for 8 years now. And I met with Mr. Lau and Ms. Todd to represent Recology, as Recology had asked me to meet with the county because Recology wants to compost here. At that time, Ms. Todd told me, quote unquote, in 2014, we will open, the county council will open a proposal for composting in Hawaii. After that time, with many, many emails and many mails, there was no other further response from either Mr. Lau or Ms. Todd. I think it's good to note here that the island of Guam is very similar to us here at Hawaii in size and in demographics. And the island of Guam right now has a very active zero waste program that's successful. You can read about it online. You can go to Biocycle magazine 2 issues ago or 2 months ago. There was an article on Guam's very successful zero waste program that focuses on, of course, recycling, anaerobic digestion, and composting. And they have the same demographics as we have on this island. So I am here to voice my support for 5214 by Margaret Willey and opposition of 3044 because, once again, as a lifetime farmer and an agronomist for farms all over the world right now, my primary problem on farms is the loss of organic matter. And one of the things that's not being stated in this room or in other meetings on this issue is that if we incinerate the waste from this island, quietly, silently, we are incinerating the food, the recycled food. The Natural Resources Defense Council in 2014 released their study showing that in a typical landfill in the United States, 60% by volume of all materials going into a landfill is food, is our food, our human food. Now, this food could be recycled, composted, anaerobically digested right here on island that would provide us methane and that would provide feedstocks for compost. That compost going back into our soil and elevating our chance of having truly sustainable agriculture here, health of our soil and health of our food. It's the carbon going back up into the air from loss of organic matter out of our soils and from mindless acts like incineration that is giving us greenhouse gases and taking the CO2, taking the carbon from our soils. Thank you.
Question. So if he is leaving, can he leave his contact information?
Are you able to stay if anyone has further questions, or if not, can you please leave Ms. Willie your contact information?
Yes, you can contact me through Margaret Willie. I won't be able to stay as I'm a farmer, but
you're going to stay for questions if people have questions or not?
I don't know how long the meeting is set to last.
So do you have his contact information?
Yes, sir. I'm certainly available through Margaret or through soilculture@AOL.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha, council members. My name is Janice Paul McGlenny, and I live on agricultural land and have had an ag-based business in Kona for over 25 years. I understand that Mr. Kern would like to leave an ag tourism bill as credit to his council stint, and I also the potential positives of ag tourism to small farmers. But I can't believe that Mr. Kern would like to leave, or anyone would like to leave, a legacy of residents left holding a bag of unaddressed problems that will cost taxpayers grief and money. I've testified many times regarding ag tourism legislation and feel strongly that it's better to fix than pass a bad bill. There was no opportunity for the public to read the latest draft of Bill 25 until today, so my comments are from what I read in West Hawaii Today yesterday and my experience with past Bill 25. It appears that rather than shorten hours of operation, the new draft lengthens them. This is opposed to prior public testimony from many people concerned about impacts, including noise. Ditto on visitor count. Not a hearing went by that there weren't requests to limit visitors to a daily rather than weekly count. Allowing 100 visitors per week can mean 150, and a big brawling sunset bash once a week in otherwise quiet rural areas and adjacent suburban neighborhoods, something I have experienced firsthand. Instead of limiting products sold to agricultural ones, this bill allows the sale of other items in gift shops. As many testified previously, the intent of an ag tourism bill isn't to turn farmers into retailers, but to help them continue to be farmers. We've heard my own and others' extremely negative experiences with so-called ag tourism activities, which those who've testified in support of Bill 25 today may not have had or don't foresee because of their own good intentions. Because no county agency would do their job to enforce county rules, both mine and a friend's ag subdivisions were forced to